All right, so we got the top 10 cornerbacks in the NFL right now, according to Mr. Kruger. Shout out to him. Like his videos. Been watching him on and off for a while. But let's go ahead and see who his top 10 is. This is very interesting. I don't watch corners in detail as much as I used to when I was younger. Like that was my favorite position. I mean, still my favorite position, but it's I mean, or running back low key is one of them too. But yeah, I just don't watch them in detail. Like, so
Do top 10
I look forward to seeing
corners in the
what
NFL right
what
now.
this looks like.
Always a difficult position group to do a top 10 list of just because like it varies, right? It varies year to year. I mean, sometimes
Pre-guess. Let's say in no order. I'm just trying to fill out the 10. Sauce, Denzel Ward, Shertan, Stingley, Ramsey. I think I hope Ramsey switches to safety before his career is over with. I feel like if he would have came in the league as a safety, he would have been a better safety than he was corner. He was a good corner. I think he would have been better. What I said, Denzel Ward, Shertan, Stingley, Ramsey, Sauce, uh, JC, um, Jair. Mm, I don't really know. That's tough.
corners are, corners are
Spoon?
I would say it's the position more than any position in football that guys will have up years and then down years, and there's just so much fluctuation. But I can still do
So
my
much
best here. So
fluctuation.
let's do the top 10 corners in football. First, just some quick honorable mentions, and this will show how loaded
Shout out to
how
Jack.
many good corners there are in the league. Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander, Carlton Davis, J.C. Horn, all great corners. None of them could quite make my list, but they all feel like top 10 corners. But yeah, let's just get into the list, starting
Okay.
off with
I'm not mad at it.
number 10. I'm going Christian Benford. Number 10, the Buffalo Bills.
What? What? What the heck? I ain't never heard Christian Benford in the top 10 conversation. I gotta start watching him now. What
Corner
the
who
heck?
has been, I think, an underrated player for them. And again,
I ain't
when
gonna
you look
lie.
at
I love McDuffie. I should have recorded. I love McDuffie, but I seen who was just cooking bro in the playoffs last year? Who was that was just cooking? Was that Mac Hollins? Oh, and that's not the first time I've seen him get cooked. So it's like he kind of like dropped down for me. Like I thought he was him, but it's like kind of his perception kind of got killed a little bit for me.
the secondary on paper, a lot of like, oh yeah, you don't love that. Oh yeah, you don't love that. Benford's kind of been the exception. He's just been someone who can consistently cover guys one on one. He's someone who I really like. So for the
Where's
Buffalo Bills, seems
Antonio?
to be getting better year after year. He's still
What
only
the heck?
24 years old. He's had a couple of really good years
Is he in a
already.
slot or outside?
So yeah, I think he's very good, and I'm gonna keep put him at a top 10 corner on this list. Someone that people don't fully know his name, but I think they will once he gets more playing time and they just see him more. Number 9, Sauce Gardner. How do you put him on a list, right? Like, it's difficult because
That's also 9.
I think he was number 1 on my list last year. I mean, he entered the league and was like a top 1 or 2 corner both of his first 2 seasons, which
I ain't gonna cap. All right, Sauce for sure. His first year, he was shutting people down, but he was holding a lot, and he was getting away with it. But at the end of the day, they was not catching the ball, so shut down to shut down. Now, as far as it goes now, I don't know. I don't be watching them in detail, so I can't really say much. Um, and then like so much of what just happened this past season just is out of my brain right now. So I don't know.
we never see. So, okay, this guy is a superstar of superstars. And last year, everyone for the Jets had a down year. I've kind of been a little bit, lighter on critiquing a lot of Jets players because of that. But he had a down year. He did. He's coming off a down
Everybody
year,
from the
and he
Jets.
needs to play better. So I guess DJ Reed still did pretty good. So maybe you could argue, hey, a corner can do well in this situation. Corners have down years. It is what it is. I'm still going to put him on the top 10, and I'm expecting him to bounce back. But if not, he'll definitely be off the list next year. Number 8, I am going with Eagles corner Quinyon Mitchell. And
Quinion at 8. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Like who really was cooking Quinion this year? I'm not gonna lie. Like what I did see of him, I don't remember anybody just like he got beat sometimes for sure. I remember seeing him get beat a few times this year, but like a whole game just the receiver cooking him. Terry, Terry was cooking him. I gotta watch that. Hold on. You're gonna have to watch that. I wonder if Jackson gonna say something about it.
In fact, I could have considered a couple Eagles rookie corners last year because they also had Cooper DeJean, who Cooper DeJean was PFF's #1 rated corner. But when you play some slot, that's going to help you. That tends to help that stat out a little bit. No, still he deserves credit, but Quinyon Mitchell also deserves a ton of credit for his ability to again. For corners, which you don't always jump in and play great right away, he jumped in
Yeah.
and played great right away. In fact, there's a lot of young players on this list, which is really interesting. But yeah, he was a fantastic player who, once he got fully integrated into that defense,
I feel like that even with like young corners, I feel like young corners come in and do better than veterans. Like and then they fall off. And then young corners just keep coming in and they do good. And then it's just like there has been it hasn't really been consistency at the cornerback position. Just like he said at the beginning of this, there hasn't been consistency at the cornerback position in years, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. I can't think of a single corner who was dominated for 2 years in a row. Like had a I need to look at that. Has there been a corner in the last 10 years that made first team All Pro twice? I don't know. I definitely need to check that out.
which didn't take long, he was fantastic, and I don't think they win a Super Bowl without him out there. #7, I'm going Christian Gonzalez, a guy who, his rookie year, he was like awesome right away. Another
Has Sertan not done that? Outside of Sertan, I wasn't including Sertan in that statement. Uh, Lattimore, I don't think Lattimore has done it. I don't think Lattimore. Maybe he was first team All Pro. I don't. I'm pretty sure he was a first team All Pro twice though. Christian Gonzalez. I was just talking about him. Just talking about him. So yeah. It, he has the potential to be like a Sertan. He has the physical traits and the attributes to be just as good as Sertan. Will he get there? I don't know. And but they're not far off in age. Like Sertan just him, but he got the potential to be that good. I don't know if he's gonna reach it, but
guy who just came in right away and was dominant. But then got injured, and there was some questions about, okay, are you going to come back from your injury? Are you going to be still as good as you were your
Ramsey has been
rookie year?
first team
And
All
there's
Pro
the whole
twice.
Bill Belichick question, right? Because how many great corners looked great under Belichick, but then weren't able to look great? Usually for a different team, but in this case, being for the same team, but Belichick no longer there. He still was very good. His in a full year into pros, so proving that he is not just a product of Belichick or anything like that. He is a great player. Still don't get how he fell to 17 in the draft. But yeah, he's #7. #6.
In the last 10 years, yep, Ramsey's done it 3 times. First team All Pro 3 times. Okay. Oh, he did it back to back years as well. It's been a minute though. 2020, 2021. It's been a minute. It feels like it's been a while. So maybe I stretched it with the 10 years, but it's still 2021. The 2021 season is a while ago. So I don't know. Again, to have some consistent cornerback play. I don't know. Okay. I gotta walk some of that back. But yeah, like just dominant. I don't. I'm so caught up in the Revis era still to this day, like expecting somebody to replicate that. But yeah, I feel like the bar is kind of high for me. But Witherspoon, okay. All right, Tsunami, you call it this one.
I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks corner, Devin Witherspoon. Again, a lot of young corners, and we're going to have some more young corners here. Devin Witherspoon, just 24 years old, has had 2 years. Again, another guy who had an awesome rookie year. And so the question is, okay, are you going to live up to that billing? And I might almost say that his rookie year was a touch better than the year 2, but I mean, year 2 was still like another great season. And you put together
The thing is, bro, can you keep it up? Can you keep it up? And not just him. In general, young corners, keep it up. That's it, bro. Like I want to see that. I want to see dominance, just like how it is with the receivers. These receivers be cold, you know. Justin Jefferson, since he's been in the league, has been elite. I don't think there's been a corner that we can say for the past 4 years straight been elite. I think it's tougher to be that good at that position than it is receiver. But again, we just don't see that longevity at the corner position, like elite, like that.
two really good
It's different.
cornerback seasons, well then yeah, I'm gonna be pretty optimistic on that. So yeah, this is he is at number 6. Number 5, Jalen Johnson is a really unique player. So his first
Bears fans love Jalen Johnson. When I say every time I see a cornerback ranking list or somebody talking about top corners on any form of social media, I said teams, fans be like Jalen Johnson, Jalen Johnson, Jalen Johnson.
3 years in the
I
league,
like him though.
he was
I like him.
solid. I think Bears fans really liked him, but when I always watched him, I'm like, yeah, he's playing okay. I don't know if he
Bears
was like
fans love him.
superstar level. Then his 4th year happened, and he was superstar level. He was like the best corner in football. His 4th year. Then last year, his 5th year. The question is, okay, was that a fluke or is that who you are? I don't know if he was quite on that level, but it clearly wasn't a fluke either. He can get to that level and certainly had games at that level and still was a consistently very good corner for the Bears. And when there's a lot of talk about how are the Bears, how's the defense as good as what it is, Jalen Johnson, they ask a ton out of him, and he is able to usually deliver on that. I would say almost always deliver. So, yeah, he is a top 5 corner in football, in my opinion. Number 4, I'm going Trent McDuffie, a
All
guy
right,
who won an
Trent.
All-Pro at the slot corner position.
All
They
right,
moved him
Trent.
outside, which is concerning, right? How is he going to
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. When he won at All Pro, I didn't know he won it as a slot corner. I had no clue. And I was asking people that year when he made All Pro, I'm like, is Trent McDuffie like that? I've never seen him like, what I'm saying? A lot of people up like that go crazy. This from now until I was today years old when I found out Trent McDuffie won that award as a slot corner. That's crazy. Um, no discredit to that because again, you have to play at a very high level, and not everybody can play in the slot. But yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what he's
how is he
talking
going to hold
about.
up being an outside corner in this situation? I don't know. Turns out he's still pretty good at that as well, which I was concerned about when they said they were going to do that. But it fully worked out. I still think he's slightly better as a slot guy, but they needed an outside guy. And the fact that he can do both gives him versatility. He can follow guys to the slot if you need to, and you don't have to worry about if he knows.
I ain't gonna lie. I would try to if I'm the Chiefs. They drafted a corner that I like, but if I'm the Chiefs, I'm trying to. If he made an All Pro as a slot corner, I'm trying to draft the guy. I don't know if I can't remember who they drafted, but I remember they drafted a corner that I did like. But I'm trying to build that outside rollback and move him back inside because that's elite. All pro
How
is
to handle
tough.
that. So because of that, he is number 4 on the list. Number 3, Derek Stingley Jr., a guy who
Stingley's
we're talking
three.
a lot about these players that just entered the league and were awesome right away. Stingley did not have that.
Oh, Denzel
Stingley, in
Ward.
fact, struggled his rookie year. I remember with my created team, the Orlando Ostriches, I was saying like, okay. I drafted Derek Stingley with my first pick, and then it didn't work out the first year. I'm like, okay, well maybe can't hit on every single selection.
I think he was
Then year
injured
2 and
a
year
little bit
3
his rookie
happened,
year.
and turns out, no, he is an awesome player. I mean, I still think about that Miami Dolphins game last year where he was just covering Tyreek Hill, completely blanketing him. Hill could
That was
not
wild.
beat Derek Stingley Jr., which might say that Tyreek Hill isn't quite what he once was, but also might just say that Stingley is that good. So yeah,
Nah,
fantastic
I think
player
Miami's play
who
calling is
is
kind of
going to
bad.
be on the top of this list possibly for the next 10 years. So while everyone made fun of Houston for drafting him over Sauce Gardner year 1, turns out doesn't seem like that bad of a pick now. Number 2, I'm going Marlon Humphrey. So of all the
Whoa!
young corners
I did not see that coming. And the only reason why I feel iffy about this is, and I know you can't blame it all on one man, but the Ravens allowed a crazy amount of passing yards this year. I think they allowed the most, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I don't remember Marlon Humphrey being that guy this year. Even with Trent, like I said, I don't. Again, I'm not watching in detail, so my opinion is taken with a grain of salt, very much so. But I don't know. I didn't see this coming. I was thinking this is an award.
We're talking about. At least we get one veteran in here, although he's still only 28. That feels insane. He feels like he should be 38. That's surprising to me. He's played in the league,
Yeah.
for a while. Was a young player entering thing because he's played 8 seasons. But yeah, Marlon Humphrey
Boy,
is
28.
a player who he actually did the opposite of Trent
I for
McDuffie.
sure thought he was older than
Transitioned
that.
to the slot last year. He's always had some ups and downs to
He
his
playing a
career,
slot?
but really, Baltimore just ask a ton
Jamar
out of
cooks
him.
him.
He is one of the players where it's like, I mean, they do not do him any favors. They never say, hey, can we help out Marlon Humphrey here? No, they're like, what's the hardest we can make Marlon Humphrey's job? And we're going to do that every game, basically. They did move him to the slot last year, kind of out of necessity, given the way that their roster makeup was, and it worked. He played as a great slot corner last year. So, yeah, I mean, again, he still had a lot of snaps outside. Still, the majority of his snaps were outside, but he's played, I believe he won the All-Pro at the slot position. So, yeah, Marlon Humphrey, fantastic.
What? Let me fact check this. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I just like the outside. I respect the slot. I respect the slot guys, but I like the outside more. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I think being elite outside versus being elite inside is I think being elite outside holds more weight. 2-time first team All Pro. He was a first team All Pro in 2024. Wow. What the heck? I did not know that. I forgot.
Corner.
I'll
He
say
is
that.
number
I
2
forgot.
on this list. But number 1, I mean, you kind of just have to put this guy at number 1, right? Pat Surtain, the reigning defensive player of the year, and I'm not mad at all at that selection. I do think he was the best corner in football by a pretty
Do
healthy
y'all think
margin.
Pastor
And it's not
Tan
easy to win
deserve
defensive
player of the
as a
year?
corner. Now,
That is
usually what has
wild.
to happen is the guy.
Like that's wild as a corner. Like if I'm being honest, the season that Stephon Gilmore had when he won Defensive Player of the Year was better than Surtain. And this is no discredit to Surtain. I like Surtain more as a corner than I do Stephon Gilmore. Like prime Stephon Gilmore versus Pat Surtain, I like Surtain more. But the season that he had was better than Surtain's Defensive Player of the Year. I say yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it just wasn't anybody else out there just doing enough. You know what I mean? Like, mm,
Who leads the league in sacks, people don't want to give that guy the award. So Trey Hendrickson, due to the Bengals defense being.
and I think it's partially that. Like, no, there was no other like elite defensive player out there like to be deserving of Defensive Player of the Year. Like they didn't put up enough numbers to win it. So it's like, well, let's give it to Pat because he had a amazing year at corner. So I mean, I don't know. Because I think maybe if Trey Hendrickson would have got 20 sacks, he probably would have got Defensive Player of the Year. I think if we've been real. But since he got 17, we've seen 17 plenty of times. But again, like I said, I respect Surtain. Gilmore in 2019 was some of the best DB I ever seen. Yeah, that again, even even right now, just like technically, like I would take Surtain over Prime Gilmore, but it's just that specific season that Gilmore had was just it was good. It was very nice. So I don't know. Trey had 17 and a half. He had 3.5 more sacks than second place. I think if he would have got 20 sacks, they would have gave it to him. But since there was nobody out there who I guess did enough to I guess, have a historical defensive season, they had to just give it to the best player who had the best season. I suppose. I suppose. Um, I'm curious what Surtan's stats was this year. Like versus other historical corners. I definitely wouldn't mind watching a video on that.
Being so bad, and
Garrett
maybe
had
him not being a
14.
great run defender. People didn't really want to give him the
If
award.
Miles Garrett had
So that's how
19, they
that
would have gave
opens
it
the
to him.
door for other positions. And in my opinion, Pat Surtain, yeah, he was totally worth that award. I think he earned that honor
I ain't
and
gonna lie, I would love to see
was
Max get one.
fantastic. I mean, again,
That'd be
the way
tough.
that this guy can play, he's also easily the
That'd be
best
tough.
run defender I put on this list. I don't think there's anyone who's even in the ballpark that way because he can do that. He's physical, but also is an elite corner. So yeah, he is number
Don't
one
Marlo play the
on the
run pretty
list. Got
well?
to put the reigning defensive player of the year at the corner position at number one on the list. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.
That's interesting. He did top 10 safeties, top 10 quarterbacks, in my opinion. So this is his opinion. But I mean, I wonder if this is like based off of like I liked their season the most, or I genuinely feel like these 10 corners had the best seasons. I wonder if he's doing it like that. Like I like the performance of these players versus, it's interesting. Switch records of Bengals and Broncos with PS2 still win it. Yeah, I think defensive player of the year is not based off of winning. I'm be honest. That's just MVP. That's the only one. MVP is the only one. Offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year, all that stuff. Offensive rookie of the year, I think mm, that could come down to it to winning if there are two quarterbacks maybe or two let's say two offensive players, or I think two quarterbacks or like maybe like I don't know. Yeah, I think two quarterbacks. Then it can come down to winning, but I think it just purely comes down to who's having the best season. But good vid. Uh, Again, shout out to Jackson Kruger.